Good evening, everyone. This is Carolyn Jones, and I am your host. This is Medicine for Your Soul, and it's a program that I've designed to familiarize you with flower essences. It is a plant medicine that's not often mentioned, and last year I wrote a book entitled Medicine for Your Soul: Essential Oils, Hydrosols, and Flower Essences to educate the community about the use of flower essences for balancing their emotions. And I certainly use them myself. I use the Rescue Remedy formula, and we'll talk more about the history of flower essences in a moment. But first, I would like to begin a full introduction of myself. The music you just heard was by Yogi Amanbir, Ramadasa. And the full mantra is Ramadasa Sa Se So Hung. It's a powerful Kundalini yoga healing mantra, often called the Siri Gayatra mantra, and it invokes the energies of the sun, moon, earth, and infinity to promote physical, emotional, and spiritual healing for oneself or others. As for me, I'm a holistic health practitioner and certified in acupuncture detoxification. I'm an herbalist and I operate with flower essences in my practice, incorporate reflexology and sound therapy, as well as spiritual care. I can be reached at my website, www.behealed.info. As a chaplain with the New York State Chaplain uh, Task Force, I also was inspired to write three books: Pick Up Your Bed and Walk, a self care guide to improve health; Incantations, which is an affirmation book; and Medicine for Your Soul, which this program is fashioned after. There are 20 recipes in the book, and we're going to take the time each week to go over each recipe so that you can see how to ground yourself, balance yourself, and get closer to your own spirit with the use of flower essences. Before I begin, I'd like to read you the dedication from my book. Dedicated to my family. Although we have often chosen distance, experienced deep sorrow, and suffered in silence, it matters not. Each one of you is held close to my heart, protected by my prayers and the prayers of those who came before. You are your ancestors' harvest. May healing flow through your heart like living water, restoring what you deem lost, renewing what you deem as important. May we reconstruct who we are to one another and return home cloaked in forgiveness and redeemed as one love. So let's take a look at flower essences. Dr. Edward Bach, a British doctor, bacteriologist, homeopath, and spiritual writer, who is best known for developing the Bach flower remedies, created a form of alternative medicine inspired by classical homeopathic traditions. He noticed that people with similar emotional and personality traits tended to develop similar illnesses. This led him to believe that disease originated first in the mind and emotions, not the body. His in depth research was rooted in his spiritual worldview and intuitive sensitivity. The healing system he developed using the energetic imprint of flowers proved to be gentle, non toxic, and accessible to everyone. He identified 7 categories of fundamental conflicts which prevent us from being true to ourselves. They are loneliness, oversensitivity to influences and ideas, despondency or despair, overcare for the welfare of others, fear, uncertainty, and insufficient interest in present circumstances. The Flower Essence Society is a nonprofit educational organization founded by Dr. Edward Bach's successor lineage in the United States. FES is dedicated to the research, preparation, and teaching of flower essence therapy. Now, there is a traditional sun infusion method for the preparation of flower essences. You need harvest dew fresh flowers. They should float in the water and be exposed in direct sunlight for several hours. That extracts the vibrational imprint of the flower that will eventually affect a person or animal on a subtle, non chemical level. Yes, flower essences can be used on your pets. In using flower essences, they can be taken orally, that's with drops or pasteles, diluted in water, topically used on your pulse points, your wrists, behind the ears, and over the heart, in baths and foot soaks. I love putting flower essences in my bath water. Compresses, creams, oils, and lotions. You could do it through steaming, inhalation, and misters. The book was written around the formula for misters, hence essential oils, hydrosols, and flower essences. You should know that flower essences are water-based and they're safe for children and pets. They are not contraindicated for pharmaceutical medications. So that means that someone could be taking pharmaceutical medications and it would not affect them in a negative way. As I mentioned before, Medicine for Your Soul, Essential Oils, Hydrosols, and Flower Essences is a recipe book for misters that can be used for mind-body alignment and subtle energy attunement. And when we finish with this series, you will have a number of flower essences that you can either use in the formulas that I've created or even create your own formula. Each session will be a deep dive into Medicine for Your Soul recipes that address emotional imbalances. So this week, we're going to talk about balance. It's the formula that I created for balance. And that utilized white clover, which represents unity and interconnectedness, peaceful cooperation, and grounded lightness. So if you find that you want to feel more unified with your environment or others, you might want to look into white clover as the flower essence that you would use. The book goes into a number of other characteristics of this flower essence, but I'm just giving you the basics. And you will have the opportunity to purchase the book as a companion handbook for this course. I'll show you the QR code at the end of the program. So, lavender. I know a lot of people love lavender, and I very seldom run into people who don't like lavender, and I have run into people who are allergic to lavender essential oil. So before you use it, if you're giving it as a gift, make sure that the person is compatible with that scent. You would only use 1 drop of the essential oils if you choose to create the mister, because it's really not about the essential oil as far as this formula is concerned. It's more focused on the flower essence. Lavender essential oil purifies and protects, and it calms the mind for a gentle spiritual release. Then we have sweetgrass. Now, hydrosols are water based as well, and they can, uh, just like flower essences, be ingested. Essential oils are not to be ingested, save under certain circumstances, and that's to be directed by an aromatherapy professional. Now, sweetgrass calls in good spirits, and it offers sacred ancestral connection. And I'm sure you've seen sweetgrass uh, braided, where you would burn it. And in this case, the hydrosol smells absolutely delicious. So, in my studies as an aromatherapist, I learned about Marguerite Maury. And this quote was especially interesting to me, and it resonated deeply with me. We wish to stress one point. It is not a question of prolonging life to any great extent. To add years to a life is one thing, to add life to years is another. It is the latter, above all, that we are trying to achieve. And here, if you have any questions, I would love for you to put them in the chat. And if we don't answer them in real time, I will certainly get back to you. This is an affirmation that I taught my senior citizens. I teach at senior centers. And this one was at the Fort Greene Senior Center in Brooklyn. And every week we would recite this affirmation. And when I hear from some of the seniors now, although I'm not there anymore, they do say that they remember to recite it. And I'd love for you to adopt it as well. It was offered by Louise Hay. And the affirmation states, I expect the very best in life, and I allow myself to receive it now. Okay. Now, as I go on through the book, I would like to mention that white clover also balances a light, childlike nature with a grounded presence. So that means that you are offered the opportunity to awaken your inner child, have that inner joy, and connect in a way that helps you go through life not feeling as if it's a drudgery or a challenge, but as it's a new adventure each and every day. You want to protect yourself against psychic disturbance, and lavender helps you do that. Even by itself, spraying it on your pillow or putting it on your person. I like to run it through my hair sometimes. The misters are great because you can treat the environment, or you could spray it on yourself. And if someone else allows, you could spray it on others. As you know, sweetgrass is used in native traditions to invite benevolent spirits and blessings. And throughout the book, I do include poetry. And there is this one poem, a lot of times people are grieving and they don't realize that they're grieving. They just know that they feel a heaviness. And this is the poem that I wrote to address my own grief. Grief has come to visit. I offer a cup of tears. And as my heart quivers, I realize that I have not lost, I have gained a new perspective again. So, in looking at grief, when it's fresh, it's very difficult to sustain joy. As time passes, I won't say that the pain goes away. A lot of times you hear people say, um, oh, it'll be better as time passes. Sometimes it's not. Each person is different and handles grief differently. So you have to be open to having some type of support system. And that's what Flower Essences offers. There's also a formula called Rescue Remedy. And that's where Dr. Bach put together 5 different flowers to address the trauma, like sudden shock. And that would be Star of Bethlehem in the formula. Also, there is clematis. So that one addresses fear. And you can get them in pasteles, you can get them in uh, drops. There's a cream for it. And the other 3 ingredients are rock rose, impatience. And it's funny because impatience actually speaks to one being impatient. Okay. So that ingredient by itself, you can get all of these flower essences by themselves. And Flower Essence Society is a great resource because there you can learn about the flower essences as you choose them. And there are charts where you can actually self analyze. That's why I love them, because you analyze yourself to see what you want to correct about yourself, not leaving it up to someone else to determine what's going on with you. And then, some things you might not want to discuss. You can deal with the flower essences, see what their characteristics are, and see if it matches your needs. So in this case, it calms stress and anxiety, it supports relaxation, and it quells nervousness. And along with different things like deep breathing, which you can do box breathing, you can do tapping, you can do ear massage. As a matter of fact, let's take some time and massage our ears. That's called auricular acupressure. So you take your ears and beginning from the top on down, you massage your whole ear. And if you really get into the feeling, you will notice a sense of calm. That's something that you can do for yourself at any time. Another thing, if you're having a problem with sleep after you use your mister or your flower essence, essential oil, or your combination, your blend, you can position your hands in this mudra and just relax. Close your eyes and relax. By closing off your right nostril and breathing through your left, you can also bring yourself into a state of calm for sleep readiness, because as we know, we heal when we're sleeping. So you have to prepare your body for that action. I would love to hear from you and learn if you are willing to try flower essences and see if it could indeed work to your benefit. One thing about plant medicine, you can hear about it forever, but until you try it, you won't reap the benefit of it. So I invite you to take that leap. If you want to follow along with me during this series and eventually make your own plant medicine, I invite you to use this QR code, and you can get the flip book. It's a flip book, it's online, and follow along with me. I'll see you the first and third Wednesday of every month. And each week that I'm online, we will study a blend. And I would love for you to bring your questions to the program so that we can explore. Let me know your experiences with the plant medicine, and know that you can easily obtain the flower essences, the hydrosols, and the essential oils. I love mountain rose herbs for my hydrosols. Throughout this study, we'll be looking at cucumber hydrosol, which smells deliciously like cucumber. The sweetgrass hydrosol smells deliciously like sweetgrass. So I invite you to try it out. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.